So today I wanted to talk to you about using the quadratic formula to solve for quadratics. And um, a quadratic is just another way that we can solve for zeros or roots. Factoring is another way. Square roots could be a way if there were in a middle term. Completing the square is another way that we could solve for quadratics, but quadratic formula is pretty true blue and it works all the time. So some students don't even like to deal with factoring or anything. They just straight plug it into the quadratic formula, but not me. If I can factor, I'll factor first. So I'm going to show you how to solve this particular quadratic by using the quadratic formula, and I went ahead and posted that up here. So what we're going to do is we need to plug in something for A, B, and C. So A is going to be the coefficient of the leading term, B is the coefficient of the middle term, and C is the constant. So we'll go ahead and plug those in for A, B, and C. Now, whenever I plug in, I typically like to use parentheses, especially when, for instance, b equals -5. It just makes it a lot easier. And then we'll go plus or minus b squared, which is -5 squared, minus 4 times a times c, -14. Okay, extend that right there. All over 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. So let's go ahead and simplify this. So we're going to get 5 plus or minus 25 plus 46. Okay, divide by 2 equals 5 plus or minus square root of 81. How lovely. Divided by 2. So we know the square root of 81, of course, is 9. So what we're going to end up with here is 5 plus or minus 9 divided by 2. And that ends up being 5 plus 9 divided by 2, or 5 minus 9 divided by 2. So you're going to end up with two answers. 5 plus 9 divided by 2 is 14 divided by 2, and -4 divided by 2. So final answer, we're going to have 2, of course. Quadratic has the power of 2. Degree 2, so that means there's 2 answers, real or imaginary. So 7 and -2 are the answers. Now just in case you maybe notice at the first, this could be factored, just so you know. So it could be factored to x minus 7 and x plus 5. Just let you know, be aware that's way easier to me than going through all of this. So if you can factor, that's probably what I would do first. I guess I shouldn't have used x, I should have used m, right? But same thing, we got our same two answers that we got from the quadratic, 7 and -5. Remember using the zero product property to set each of those expressions equal to 0. Now I wanted to show you one more where the answer isn't so nice, you know, where you couldn't factor. And this is one right here. We can see that A equals 2, B equals -7, and C equals -13. So, using our quadratic, -b, so negative times a -7, you plug that in, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so -7 squared minus 4 times A, which is 2, times C, which is negative 13. Okay, nice. All over 2 times A. All right, let's go ahead and simplify. 7 plus or minus the square root of 49. Let's see. Let's just go ahead and plug this into the calculator. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 13. My brain isn't working so well today. Plus 104. No mental math there for me today. Divide by 4. Simplifying even more. We get 7 plus or minus 49 plus 104, 153. How great is that, right? Divide by 4, okay? And so you're going to end up with 2 different answers, okay? You're going to end up with 7 plus the square root of 153. And I guess we should see, I don't think you can simplify that. I think that's as good as it gets. Divide by 4, and then 7 minus the square root of 153. Divide by 4. And so there's your 2 lovely answers. Definitely couldn't factor that from there, and this is where this advantage would come from. Okay? And that's it. Now just be aware, sometimes you can have a negative number within this radical. If that were the case, remember you need to use I for the negative and then just treat everything else the same. And so it'd be the same, you just use I. Okay? All right, that's all. I hope this helped.